I wish you a very happy new year, Gudi Padwa and Ugadi to all my viewers. So, this is the first festival that we are celebrating twice in a state of a lockdown or a semi lockdown. So, I hope everyone is fine. Best wishes to you all, and I just hope things get well very soon. So, before I start today's video, I want you to watch this wonderful piece of fielding.
Finds the outside edge. The pace on that ball. Oh, wonderful stop. That's Nathakan Chantam. That's her entry into the Geo Women's T20 League Challenge.
Wow. Look at that for an effort from Chantam. A little late on that. Jemima. Wow, that's phenomenal effort. Brilliant. She's definitely saved a couple of runs here. Won a few hearts.
Just have a look on the entire dugout of blue. They were all mesmerized by that effort. Top class effort.
So she was Nathakan Chantam playing in the Trailblazers cricket team in the Geo Women's T20, that is the Women's IPL in 2020. So she is from Thailand, and Thailand is yet another non-Commonwealth good cricket playing nation. So now you might ask me, why am I so obsessed with non-Commonwealth cricket playing nations? So it's that I'm not obsessed, but I'm rather amazed, I'm surprised that cricket, which was a game predominantly played in the UK and then spread to the Commonwealth countries that were its colonies, it's now being played quite well in non-Commonwealth countries also. So in this series we have covered Netherlands, we have covered Afghanistan, and today we are covering Thailand. So in the ICC Women's T20 rankings, Thailand is ranked 11th, that is above Zimbabwe, Netherlands and Scotland. So how did they get here in the first place, and why is the Thai men's cricket team absent from all these rankings? So today we'll answer these questions. So hello everyone, Namaste, Assalamu Alaikum, Sat Shri Akal. This is Vishal and welcome to our channel Indica Central. Over here we'll be discussing world history and current affairs from India's perspective. So Thailand is a very unique cricket team. So while its women's cricket team is ranked at number 11th, its men's cricket team is ranked at number 66 in T20s. That is along with countries like Finland, Bulgaria and South Korea, whom you might have never watched playing cricket. Also, Thailand is the highest ranked non-Commonwealth cricket team in women's cricket in T20s, and that is the only ranking that ICC gives for its non-full members. So in a previous video I had mentioned Afghanistan, that it does not have a women's cricket team. So this gives Thailand an advantage, although there are some efforts to revive the Afghanistan women's cricket team back. So I have said this in my previous videos also, that cricket is a very expensive game. All this cricketing equipment, cricketing gear, all this costs a lot. So even in India in the 19th century, it was played only by the very wealthy people like the Nawab of Pataudi, Maharaj Ranjit Singh Ji, his nephew Dulip Singh Ji. So even in Thailand, it was played by the wealthy elite who used to study in England and then came back. So they brought this game along with them. If you know, at that time it was very fashionable to study in England. Even in India, we had people like Mahatma Gandhi, Veer Savarkar, B.R. Ambedkar, who studied there at some point in their lives. So these people who came back to Thailand, they founded the Bangkok City Cricket Club in the year 1890. So in 1901, the Royal Bangkok Sports Club was established, and cricket was one of the games that was played in the club. So in January 1909, they played their first international match against the Strait Settlements in Singapore when they beat them by an innings. Now the Strait Settlements were a group of British colonies in the Malaya Peninsula, which also included Singapore at that time. Since then, cricket remained a very low-key affair in Thailand. In fact, if we go all the way to 1995, when Thailand got their upgrade membership in the ICC. And even at that time, they only had the men's cricket team. And even that was full of foreigners, the expatriates. So even if I just show you the scorecard of their match against Malaysia, you will realize that many of these people are actually South Asians, not local Thais. So cricket was administered at that time and even today by the Cricket Association of Thailand. But when they made the Thai women's cricket team, this team was comprised of totally local Thai women. So for Thai cricket, the turning point came in 2008 when the government recognized the Cricket Association of Thailand as a legitimate body for governing cricket in their country. Now what this meant was that cricket became a government supported and a government funded sport. So even local players were encouraged to take part in the team and play cricket. So this time they first made the Thai women's cricket team, and this team was made totally from domestic Thai women, and mostly they picked them from the domestic softball teams. So softball was a game which was not going very well in Thailand, and at that time they realized that since cricket is very much same, let's just try it out. So Sornari Tepoch, today's captain, was a university level softball player, and when she was asked if she would play cricket, she said that she didn't know the game, but that's what makes the game exciting. And she's still the captain of today's Thailand cricket women team. So after that, Thailand's cricket graph has gone steadily up, but it has also met with some downsides in the between. So I'll just quickly cover everything. In the ACC Under 19 Women's Championship in 2008, Natakan Chantem played when she was only 12 years old. Now 12 years is a very young age for any girl to play in an international cricket tournament. So if you are an Indian girl, I would hardly expect your parents supporting you in doing that. So in 2010, the Ter Thai cricket ground was inaugurated in Bangkok, on which the Thai women could practice. In 2013, they won the ACC Women's Championship, which was a tournament for the Associate Asian Women's Cricket teams. Now, the matches played in this tournament were T25 matches, as in there were 25 overs in every inning, not the T20 regular format that we see. So this tournament was eligible to qualify for the 2013 World T20 qualifier, which in turn would make you qualify for the actual 2014 T20 World Cup in Bangladesh. So Thailand didn't qualify for the qualifier, but they could not make it to the World Cup. But in this tournament, for the first time, Thailand played against non-Asian women's cricket teams. Now, after 2 years, in 2015, Thailand hosted the World Cup qualifier, but they could not win a single match in the group stage. In fact, they came 7th in this qualifier, just above Netherlands. In 2018, they did something very interesting. They beat Sri Lanka in the Women's T20 Asia Cup, which was their first win against any full member team. In fact, Wongpaka Lingpraset, if I'm pronouncing this name correctly, became the first cricketer from Thailand to take a World T20 International 5-wicket haul, and who also became the player of this match. Actually, I really wanted to see this match, but I couldn't find this video anywhere. So if anyone has it, please ping in the comments below. But just a month after that, in the 2018 T20 qualifier, they could not win a single match in the group stage. So now here we come to 2019, when they played the 2019 World T20 qualifier in Scotland for a 2020 T20 World Cup in Australia. So this was their best performance in any T20 World Cup qualifier, and they came the runners-up, just losing the final to Bangladesh, and qualified for the 2020 T20 World Cup in Australia. And a lot of credit goes to their coach Harshil Pathak, who was their coach then and who is still their coach today. So we have an interview which was taken by YouTube channel. I'll just post its link in the description below. Also on Netflix we have a documentary called Beyond the Boundary for the 2020 Women's Cricket World Cup. So if you have time, please watch it. So what are the actual reasons that a Thai men's cricket team is not performing as well as the women's cricket team? Now, after I did my research, I could not find specific reasons for this. However, from whatever I have read, I have drawn some conclusions. So whatever you are listening right now is partly based on facts and partly on my inferences. So please keep that in mind. Now, the first reason is the presence of a dedicated cricket team. As I said, in the men's cricket team, most of the people are foreigners, they're expatriates. So they can't be called to practice anytime we want. They have their other jobs also. On the other hand, the women are local players, so they stay in Thailand permanently. they work in fields and they can come anytime we want. Also, women are much freer than men in what job they are doing. Second is the presence of local players. So government support comes much easily when we have local players in the team, and that is the reason government is supporting the CAT, the Cricket Association of Thailand, so much, because they have local women players in their team. Third is a dedicated full-time coach. So the coach of the women's cricket team currently is Harshal Pathak, as I said. And you can watch his YouTube video where he has spoken on how his team has taken outstanding efforts to qualify for the qualifier in Scotland and then the World Cup in Australia. On the other hand, the men's cricket team does not have a full-time coach. So the question that you would ask is, why is the CAT not employing local boys in the men's cricket team also? Now, this is a good question, but the reason could be that it's a difficult gamble. It could be much difficult to find local men who are willing to play cricket than women. As I said, these women come from local softball teams. Softball is a game usually played by women and it was not going so well. So they could be easily moved to cricket. Also, the most popular sports in Thailand are football and golf. So most of the young boys in Thailand prefer to play football and golf is played by the very elite people. Also, girls are usually free. So they are much willing to try newer sports. Boys are expected to perform in a sport. If they don't, the society generally looks down upon them. But in the case of girls, sports is something secondary. So if you perform well, it's balle balle. Otherwise, theek hai, that sort of thing. Also, this situation is actually changing right now. So CAT is actually recruiting local boys from Thai villages much outside Bangkok. Even over there, they are conducting training camps for local Thai boys. So in the future, we can say that the situation will change slightly, and perhaps we could get local Thai men in the cricket team also. So a question that you could ask me over here is that can Thailand get an ICC full membership? Now remember one thing, that nobody has ever got an ICC full membership just on the basis of the women's cricket team's performance. Also, the ICC is known to value the men's cricket team's performance over that of the women's, just as they had given test status to Afghanistan despite having a women's cricket team at all. Also, if ICC has separate membership criteria for women and men's cricket team, then it might be possible, although it's very difficult because full membership does not just mean test status, it also means a membership in the ICC committees that is specifically for these full members. However, Thailand's List A performance, that is the ODIs for non-full members, has not been so great. So they played that in a 2017 qualifier when their performance was not great, and this year from June, Thailand will be playing in the ODI World Cup qualifier for the 2022 Women's ODI World Cup. So let's see if they get an ODI status after this. So test status actually does not matter much for women's cricket because nobody actually plays a lot of tests, and ICC does not even maintain a test ranking for women. In fact, the only test teams that play tests are India, Australia and England, the top three in women's cricket. But however, the future seems bright for Thai women because they are playing in the international cricket leagues now, the T20 leagues. So Natakan Chantam, as I had mentioned in my very beginning, she played for the Trailblazers in the women's IPL. Although I felt that Smriti Mandhana, the captain, treated her like a Kachanimbu in that tournament. But before that, Sulipon Naomi had played for Sydney Thunder in the first edition of the Women's Big Bash in 2015-16. Now, what should happen is that this game should reach the depths of Thai women. Today's situation is that nobody knows these Thai women cricketers. So for example, Sonaring Tipoch, the captain, on Instagram she has only 968 followers. In fact, one of the girls in my school, my classmates, she has more followers than her. So that's really very concerning. Even Natakan Chantam on Twitter, she has only 2.7k followers. And again, most of them are actually Indians because they saw her playing in the women's IPL, and even I am one of them. But that is very less for a women's cricketer. In fact, in an interview to Indian Express, Natakan Chantam has said that when she was young and when she wanted to see what cricket is like, she had to buy an extra set-top box at her flat, at her house, because at that time no channel in Thailand used to show cricket. Today, obviously, they can watch cricket on YouTube. Everything is freely available. But the problem is that nobody knows these Thai women cricketers and what cricket exactly is. So let me ask you, did you know that India also has a national rugby team? Do you know any of its players? Because that team has never qualified to any rugby World Cup. So somewhat that is the situation in Thailand for cricket right now. So I hope this video was useful to you. It was of some help to answer some of your questions. Please show your appreciation by pressing the like button on this video. Please comment if you want me to make videos on something else. And also please subscribe to our channel Indica Central. Also please press the bell icon at the side of the subscribe button to get the latest updates of all our videos. And we are also on Twitter. So you can follow us. You can follow me, Vishal, @Vishal1296, and Indica Central, @Indica Central on Twitter. So thank you very much. Thanks for watching. And in Thai, Khak Khabun.